All right, I guess we're live. We'll wait till we get some viewers in here, do a little bit of a Q&A, pick your guys' brains. I'll pick your brains tonight, let you pick mine. That's how it's going to go. I'll show you guys what I've been working on when you get in here. Well, I can't show you exactly what I've been working on, but I'm going to show you a pretty cool website. That's how we'll put it. I'll just show you a pretty cool website. I got some messages to respond to, too. Oh, good to see we got a viewer tuned in here. You'll have to tell me if you know what this website is, if you guys use it or not. It's definitely a pretty cool one. Well, we had one viewer in and we lost that viewer. Let's see if we can get two in. I didn't schedule the stream in advance. I've been extremely busy today. I've been extremely busy the last month, probably. So you have to forgive me for that. But we are going to have a live stream here for a little while. If not for a long while, then maybe just for a little while, right? Not a long while, but a little while. You have to say hi when you come in. Just type it down in the chat. Been here a couple of minutes now, so we can hang out a little longer here. I got something over on the workbench too. Guess I can pull the live stream up on my phone. At least when I pull it up on my phone, it does show I have a viewer, probably. We may have some. YouTube don't keep up with that real fast. Just give me a shout out when you get in here so we can get this stream started. Sweet tea, my drink of choice tonight. And we are buffering, but we're not buffering. It only buffers on my phone, not buffering on our stream here. In fact, our stream it's good. Good as gold. It's right. It's probably the only thing that is right. I don't know. I do have the green screen set up behind me, but I don't have anything running over on the workbench to project a bench test or anything behind me. But it's kind of clear back there. You get the image of something. I don't know what. Usually it's whatever I got displayed on this screen over here, so it's only showing half of it. I don't know why that is, but I'm not going to pretend like I do either. Welcome to the stream tonight. We're going to start this one off a little bit different. We're going to do questions and answers. I'm going to ask you guys some questions, and I need some answers. Now, you can ask me questions too. Anything on builds that have been done that you've seen on the channel. Anything that I had that I might have sold. What I might be working on in the future. That kind of stuff. We can talk about that a little bit to start. I don't have a ton of stuff lined up for us as far as going through different hardware or anything. I want to show you what I have been working on, though. Well, one of the things I've been working on, not all of the things, and there's a reason behind me doing what I'm doing here, but that's going to come in later videos. Last video what did I do last? Did I do the Corsair case? I can't remember what the last video was. It may or may not have been the Corsair case. I can pull it up on YouTube real quick. We'll take a look at it and see. We do have the live stream going, so we don't want to mess that up. Yeah, it was a Corsair A540. It's when I did the motherboard swap. And I did sell that one. I said it in the video, so if you watch that video, then you know I sold it. I've been noticing a trend and a difference, and I'm kind of going to take things back a step, I think, in the future here. And when I say back a step, I don't mean that I'm going to stop doing videos or stop posting them. I just want to see if there's anything we can do differently to grow the channel. And what I'm going to do is when I go back and look at videos, man, the older hardware does really good for some reason. There's a Wave. How are you doing? Good to see you in the chat here tonight. I was getting lonely in here. No, just kidding about that. Just got the thing fired up. So the website I'm looking at is called oldgamesdownload.com. So if you've heard of it, that's great. But any of your old computer games that you might have played that you really like that you might not have anymore, and they don't sponsor me or anything. I've just been going through the archives and looking at stuff to try to get back on track with some of what I used to do years ago. In the trip down memory lane, it happened over, I don't know, I had a block. I don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's the definition of insanity. It literally is. So in order to not do the same thing over and over, I sat down, and this morning I finally broke through. And what I mean by broke through, I finally seen exactly what way I want to head and what I want to work on in the future to change things up. And I told you that I was going to do that. So what I have come up with is nostalgic gaming. And hear me out on this, not just nostalgic gaming. I literally bought a complete gaming rig today from 2011, top of the line from 2011. So you'll see that in an upcoming Tuesday video, but not next week, probably not the week after, probably the week after that. It'll be in the next few weeks because I'm a little bit ahead on the Tuesday night videos. So what happened was I told you that Marketplace has been a little slow. So I haven't really found anywhere where I can find good enough deals on stuff, right? And I don't know that Marketplace was slow or prices were a little higher, as much as it might have been me not looking at stuff the same. And what I mean by that is if it's not at a smoking deal, I'm not buying it usually. And I know there's some stuff that I get on Marketplace that you guys are like, oh, I wouldn't have paid that for it. But whether you would have paid that for it or not, it doesn't really matter. But I do. My find today, though, I won't tell you the price of it. It was dirt cheap. And likely it should have been for a unit from 2011, right? It should have been dirt cheap, but it was definitely dirt cheap. I finally found my HDMI to DVI adapter. So I have a little graphics card I want to test, and we're going to do it on my X99 motherboard. So I have that set up on the workbench, and I've got the capture card and stuff hooked up to it. So basically all I got to do is go over there and jump a couple of pins, and we don't have a hard drive on the board or nothing, and I don't have an NVMe laying around here I can put in it either. So let not going to pretend like I do, but we definitely don't. I'm looking around to see if I do, okay? That's why I'm looking around. But I don't think I do, but I can look around to see if I do. Oh, and I may show you the headset I bought. If you remember, I broke my Turtle Beach headset in half on my racing rig. So I did end up going to Walmart and replacing it. When I went and looked at the price of the Turtle Beach and the Razer headsets at Walmart, I elected to go with a headset on the end cap called a ONN. And I give like $25 for it, and the thing works great. So I'm happy about that. Let's get this thing out of our way real quick. I'm going to move that over on the OBS side of things here. And we're going to pull up our capture card. I don't have much on the agenda. That's the thing. I didn't pre-plan this stream out good. But since we got that fired up, I am going to step away and I'm going to go hit the power button. And we're going to see if the... Oh, hear me out here because we're going to back her up. That's right. We're going old school here. I've got a GTX 550 Ti mounted up here, and we're going to see if it works. Ooh, a little bit of static, so nothing's going to work again. Nope, I'm just kidding. It'll probably work just fine. It'll either work or it won't. How's that? It might not have never worked to begin with, but... Oh, we're going through the boot numbers just fine, but we're not going to boot because we don't have a hard drive hooked to it, but we should still post. This one, the good news is you'll hear it post. It's got an audible deep, deep, deep. There it goes. It'll start talking to you. And then when it posts, oh, I guess I need to hit the capture button here. So let's do that. Let us capture it. There it is. You see it as well as I do. That's our American Megatrend. So it appears that our 550 Ti actually works. So we got that old graphics card there and it's working. It come up and it works. So we do not have a hard drive in that, like I said. And I don't know what happened to the motherboard battery in it, but it's not holding its date and time either. And I think I'm out of them batteries. So I need to get on the Amazon and go ahead and order some more. I don't know why I'm always out of motherboard batteries, but it does happen. I wish I had a way to test dual power pin with that, but I only have the single power pin. Let me see what else I got that we might be able to test graphics card wise. And if I had an NVMe drive free, I'd grab it and throw it in there, but I know for a fact that I do not have an NVMe card or drive free. And I guess I could move the camera over here. I'm sure we could find something to mess with, right? There's my Zotac GTX 1070. We're not going to mess with that. I got some of these old cards, but I'm going to need 2 power pins to power them. And I need to clean up from my last build, which I just did. You'll see I finished the ITX, finally. Finished. CPU cooler finished, all of it done. I finished it. You'll see that video next Tuesday. Let me just tell you, before you watch it, that is one awesome video. I'm not kidding you. I took 2 hours worth of footage. Why is this thing... It's got a battery in it. Is the battery bad? Why is it not holding its date and time? Oh, I think today is the 25th. No, today is, yeah, I think it is the 25th. And that's going to be 2025, and I don't know the time. I'll have to walk over here and look at it because I don't have my phone on me. So we'll see what the time is, and we'll just indulge ourselves, and we'll set the date and time on that thing again. Which I don't know why I'm doing that, but I'm going to. It is 8:43 p.m. And that's Eastern Standard Time, for those of you that don't know. Oh. Well, I guess we just went the wrong way. I should have tabbed over. Well, minus back. Might as well make it 8:44 now, right? Yep. One more. There we go. So we'll reset the date and time on this thing, and we'll hit F10 to save it. And then we're going to shut it off and see if it actually does save it. So let's shut it off here. I don't know how this board's not that old. It's from AliExpress. I don't know how the battery on it could be bad this fast. I just don't know. So let's turn it on and try it again. Well, we didn't have it off long enough, so it popped right back on. That's a good sign. I need to do something with this board too. I told you guys why I took it out. It was a pretty genuine concern. But why not send it till it breaks, right? If it's going to bust a capacitor or overheat, just send it until it does. Okay, so it saved it in a short time. It saved our date and time in a short time here, so we'll see if that continues out. And we're going to hit the power button on that and shut it down. If you want to know, I think we tested graphics cards last week, right? Did we go over the 4 I found? Somebody put that down in the chat and let me know. Because if we did, I know something we didn't go over. And I'll do that next. That little 550 Ti, though, lights up. I'd like to get a hard drive and Windows installed and test that bad boy out, since we know that it lights up right. I'm going to tear this stuff down, and I'm going to throw up here what I put the GTX Titan in. And you're going to be surprised. And I thought that it would bottleneck the Titan really bad. And it turns out that it does bottleneck it, but not near as bad as what I thought it would. So that was kind of a pleasant surprise to see. And we also don't have any internet over here because my cellular company, which is, I'll go ahead and call them out, AT&T, has decided that they would shut all the towers down around me and upgrade them at once. Which is actually brilliant because now my phone's working like crap. And my cellular internet is even worse than my phone. So, imagine that, right? Go figure. That's what they did. Let's not shut down and upgrade one tower at a time. Let's shut them all down and upgrade them. That way nobody out there has a signal. They don't give a crap about the rural people, I can tell you that right now. They care about the masses, they don't care about the few. And it goes that way for everything. I mean, you can't get no love when you live rural. Most of the people in the city won't give you no love because they want to live rural because they don't like their neighbors usually. So, go figure that one out. We won't go down that road though. That's just normal everyday life, right? All right. Keep watching the screen because I am over here working diligently. You can hear it. Okay, we have everything plugged in except our capture card, so let's do that right now. You'll know what computer it is when it lights up, but you don't know what I put the Titan in yet, but you're about to find out. All right, let's fire it up and see if it works here. EQ, how you doing, buddy? Chris, how are you? Welcome to the stream here tonight. Doing something a little bit different, but more the same, right? We tested a 550 Ti that I haven't found the adapter to test yet, and I found the adapter today, so I tested it. And it works. I guess we're booting in the Windows here, and yes, that is my Dell XPS, and that's my Dell XPS for a reason. That computer now has, and you can see my internet's messed up right now. That computer now has the GTX Titan in it. I'm going to reset the internet router and see if it picks back up again. I doubt that it will, because it don't really have a tower to pick up to. But let's go ahead, since we got the Titan and the XPS with the Core 2 quad in it, the Q6600. Let's go ahead and fire up a bench test on it, right? Let's see how the Titan performs in the old Dell XPS. You've seen this computer a few times on the channel, but you've never seen it with this graphics card in it. And I'll be honest with you, it's pretty impressive. It's not bad at all. We know that card held about 100 frames a second on high. Yeah, I love the look of those cards, EQ. You're not lying about that. They're a beautiful card. The stainless steel look on there, it's a phenomenal looking graphics card. There you go. That's a nice build right there, 39. My specs on the one we're streaming on right now, I'll pull them up for you. We'll let that bench test run in the background because I'm inside of it again. Boom, there's the ship. Nope, that way. Where's it at? This way? Nope, that way. There's the ship right above me. I'm loving the green screen thing. That is a heck of a build, though. 39. 39 DKWJ, maybe? So I'll pull up the specs on this one that we're on so you can see them. Get them slid over here right in the middle of the screen. We'll let that bench test. This is not lying when you look at it. We are on an old i7 4790K. We have a 5700 XT graphics card, 32 gigs of RAM, and 3 terabytes of storage in it. So you can look at the specs right there. Not anything that's going to break the bank, that's a fact, but it does a heck of a job streaming. It's streaming and it's running the capture card all at the same time, so not too bad for the old 4th gen Intel, right? Got to give it a little bit of love. While we're running literally a Core 2 quad, a Q6600 from about the 2009 time frame, right? And it has a GTX Titan graphics card, as you can see in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Oh, she's got a little stuttering going on, but the computer wasn't completely warmed up, so that old thing's going to have a little bit of hiccups until it gets that way, right? If you think that one is old, you wait till you see the marketplace find I picked up today. And they're not near as old as I am either, so that's the other thing. I'm in one of those moods today. I had to go to the DMV this morning and renew my tags. Ouch. If you live in Florida, you know how that feels right now. It doesn't feel good. I'm going to let that roll out, and then I'm going to think of something else to do here. I don't know. I'm getting back into the nostalgic stuff a little bit. You'll see that in a couple of weeks when the first video hits about that. But I'm finally going to build... wonder where PC Steve has been. I think he's my NASCAR racing 2003 guy. We have to get him in one of these live streams so he can answer questions. What do you guys like to see? Do you want to see the newer stuff? You want to see nostalgic stuff? Some of the great gamers of the old days? Heck, you're looking at them right there. I mean, the Dell XPS back in 2009 was probably one of the top of the line machines. But I can tell you right now that CPU is struggling. That Core 2 quad is filling its age, and that's a fact. Watch it in here. It's going to stutter so much it's going to cause either me or the rest of you to have a seizure. Mine's is coming up next month. MVA is right up the street. There you go. Well, the temperature don't look bad. It's under 80 degrees Celsius on that thing, but nothing else about it looked great, did it? The stuttering definitely didn't look good. Wonder if it's got something going on in the background here. I don't know. We'll close this out here for a second. Not bad performance for the old girl, though. We just got to figure out what she's working on in the background. I think we may actually have internet again. Don't hold your breath because it's probably not any good. We'll do a speed test to see. I'm sure this will be atrocious. Oh, we got 7, 8. This is on my cellular router that I use over here by the workbench. I need to just go ahead and buy a bigger switch and run Ethernet. Put an Ethernet jack or 2 over on this side. Because we can't have this kind of stuff. This is a catastrophe when you're trying to do this kind of work. You can't download drivers or nothing with those kind of speeds. It's ridiculous. So that's my cell phone issues right there. It's not hooked to my cell phone literally, but it is on a cellular router. But the stream isn't. The stream is on my 5G fiber optics. So we're not going to have any problems with that. What do I want? All programs. Might as well run the old Nova bench. If you got it, run it. So we'll go ahead and hit the test on that one. Then we need to install some nostalgic games on the thing. So I'm going to show you in a minute after I'll show you while we're running this. How'd you like that speed test, though? We're setting the world on fire with that one, aren't we? Oh, let's see here. That's not what I'm looking for. Did I close it? No. Surely I didn't do that. There we go, right there. How many of you use oldgamesdownload.com? Raise your hand in the chat if you use oldgamesdownload.com. Because I'm looking for people who have experience here to answer some questions. Yeah, my fiber's a 5 gig. It's 5 gig fiber from Frontier, and that's what we've got on. I'll show you the speed test now, and I'm only on my. Oh, we had a little failure on that test over there. We got something going on with that computer. Let me see. Let me pull up speed test and drag it over here. Didn't want me to drag it over there, but there we go. This is on my 1 gig switch, so it should show close to a gig, I would think. And that's with us streaming and, everything else in the house running, so. It's 5 gig at my router at the other end of the house, but that runs through a Cat 6 cable. Back here to an Ethernet switch, and that switch is only a 1 gig switch. It's crazy how we have all this fast fiber, but we don't really have the hardware to keep up with the speeds of the fiber optics now. So that's insane. Not too bad, 895 down, 864 up. We'll take that. I'll take that all day. Those speeds are solid. We had 11 ping on it, so we're doing pretty good on the internet speed for our streaming machine right here. But my Core 2 Quad is not doing so good. What is going on with that thing? I'm up and down over here. Why does she have a failure? Let's click continue and see what it does. That was before it even started the benchmark, right? Let's try it again and see if we can get it working. And maybe you can see in the center of the screen, it's a Core 2 Quad Q6600 overclocked to 2.9 gigahertz. 8 gigs of system RAM and a GTX Titan graphics card. That's our build right here. And this thing is going to play some of those old games from that thing that I was talking about, oldgames.com, oldgamedownload.com. So let me know if you have experience with it. I have downloaded some titles. I'm going to put them on my external drive and move them over and install them on our nostalgic system here. And we're going to get a solid test out of it now. I fixed it. I don't know how I fixed it, but I fixed it. I'll just pretend I fixed it. Probably didn't really fix nothing, honestly. Still broken. I didn't fix it. Son of a gun. This is the last time I'm going to get up over this test. How dare this benchmark not work? Yeah, it was working fine till it wasn't. We'll just restart it and see what it does. This thing's been acting a little crazy since I started it up. It's like it woke up on the wrong side of the bed or something. I just want to see if we can get through a Nova bench. We didn't have any problems doing it any time before, so... We do have the GTX Titan in it. That's the only thing I changed. Normally, I'd been running the R9 270 in this unit, so we haven't changed very much as far as that goes. I may take one of those games, though, and throw it on an external drive and come over and install it on this and see how it runs it. We'll have to pick a game from the past, okay? One that the Core 2 Quad would do okay on. I want to see if we get the same failure. I restarted the test completely. There ain't no way this is getting 1500 frames per second. That's broken. I think it was the hard drive giving us the error. Let's see what it does here. Nope, we scored out that time. 1083. 150 on our RAM, 405 on the CPU, 502 on the graphics, and 26 on our hardware. Not bad. I mean, when you look at those scores, you're looking at a system from 2009. A graphics card from, I don't know, let me Google it. When did the GTX Titan come out? Answer it in the chat if you know it real quick. GTX Titan release date. The release date for the GTX Titan was February 19th of 2013. So it could have potentially, somebody in 2013 could have still had their 2009 Dell XPS, been gaming on it. GTX Titan come out. They thought, I'll get a Titan and I'll put it in there. A little bit off there, Chris. 2013, according to the AI. Let's think about that a little bit. Look, just for a minute. Wikipedia says the same thing, though. Where did I see? Right there. NVIDIA Titan, GTX Titan. Black released in February of 2014. The Titan Z released in March 2014. The Titan X released in March 2015. And then another one in 2016. So they did release them in 2016 too, but they started releasing them apparently back in 2013, maybe. It was a good guess, Chris. So it literally come out before the GTX 1080. So the Titan predates the 1080, and it must have come out after the GTX 980, would be my assumption. We'll look at that for a second. I may still have a GTX 980 out in the field. Yes, so the Titan come out before, or no. The Titan would have actually been around the same time as the GTX 980, honestly. 980 Ti's. What a great graphics card that was, right? I wouldn't mind having one of them to play around with. 290X on the FX 4100. That was solid. I have to think back what I had back in the day. I've had so many graphics cards. It's crazy. It literally is. I got so many of them here that it's crazy. I look over and there's one right here. This is the... Is this a R9 270? Yes, 2 gig card. That's what was in the Dell XPS, this one right here. So the R9 270 2 gig card was in here. But I'm looking at this old games download, and it's abandonware, so I did some downloads here. Let me find them again. But you're probably not interested in many of them. I downloaded Super 1 Kart Racing Simulation. Let's take a look at this a minute. All right, so let me drag that back over and put it right here. So if you go to abandonware only, it's games that are no longer available, right? First, we're going to go over here and just select our genre or our platform. So this is all the different platforms there's games for. This is insane. What a great website, right? So I'm going to go down to, you can do Windows 3.1 too, Windows 3.x. I'm just going to click Windows. And then all your games come up right here. So let's say you're in the old sim racing. Let's try Dirt Track Racing, the original one. Let's see if it comes up. It was made by Ratbag Games. There it is right there. Let's click on it and see if it's the right one. Wizard Works, that's it. Yep. Ratbag Pty Ltd. Released in 1999. Awesome. And you can download it right here. Additional files, patches, and fixes. And here's screenshots of it right here. So you can take a look at the screenshots. I spent a lot of hours on these simulations right here, just so you guys know. So for me to go back and be able to look at this stuff and grab it and put it on a USB and install it faster, it's pretty awesome. I'm not going to deny that. Hi, Dan. How are you, buddy? It's good to see you guys in the stream here tonight. Tell me one of your old favorite games. Let's just look it up here and see if we can find it. Put it in the chat. Tell me one of your old favorite games. And I'm kind of at that crossroads. Next week's video is going to be awesome. It is finishing the ITX build. And I can tell you, after doing that complete build, in all my honesty, I would do another one, but I don't want to do another one right now. That thing was fun to do, don't get me wrong, but it did take me time, and making those things cool properly is a whole different, she's a whole different ball game. So I got very creative, and you're going to see that in the video Tuesday night. And some of you may approve of the methods, and some of you may disapprove of the methods, but it worked is all I'm going to say. So I got creative and I made it work. You're going to see the temperatures. In fact, I'm very surprised by how cool that system actually runs. And it performs beautifully. It literally performs beautifully. So give me an old game. Throw it in the chat. Something from 2000, maybe something that's abandoned, right? Something from the early 2000s, something from the mid-90s, late 90s, something like that. Let's see what we got. Wrigglers. Did anybody play the Wrigglers? I've never heard of that. The Gathering, yes. XCon Alliance, Look 2. We can load some more here. Sim Tunes, that ought to be a good one, right? Ream of the Truth. We got all kinds of stuff here. Battleground 5, check that out. Released in 1996, a simulation strategy. Similar games are Battleground 7, Battleground 8, The Prelude to Waterloo, and Sid Meier's These were pretty good games, right? I never got into playing that. The Eurus Revenge. Wonder why it's not available here. Maybe they still... I wouldn't think you could find the original World of Warcraft on here either, because Blizzard still has that. I think these are just abandoned games, right? Is this it? Is this the game that you speak of? Because if this is a game you speak of, I can download it. I got it right here. Windows 2001, Command & Conquer, Yuri's Revenge on EA. Let's click it. Oh, you have to buy it. So it shows it on there and it links you to the website where you can buy it, but you can't download it for free. That's because they still have it. EA owns that one. Yep, you get directed to the official site because if they're abandoned games, it's considered abandonware and it's free. Okay? But if it's like, let's put in World of Warcraft because I know Blizzard still owns that. If the company is still operating and they own it, you're not going to get it for free. You're still going to have to pay for it. That's a fact. So we pull up well, actually, Warcraft is the only thing that comes up when I pull it up. So you can't even get WoW to pull up at all on it. But you can get the precursor to WoW, which was actually Warcraft. That would, whether or not people know that. Warcraft was the precursor of it. But that's Blizzard Entertainment, and if you go down here and click on it, it's going to redirect you. Watch. Right over to Battle.net. Because they will still sell you the game. It look, though, it's at a bargain of a deal. It's only $5.99, right? Nope. So if it's abandonware, like, let me give you an old game that I would think of here. Let's try another one of my old races. Let's try NASCAR Racing, the Papyrus versions of them. I know for a fact that that's dead, right? We know that. Papyrus don't exist no more, so it would be freeware. So here we go. You can get any of the NASCAR racings from the original one to NASCAR Racing 2. I started on this one right here. This is where I started sim racing at. This game right here, Papyrus Design, release date 1994. And you can download it right here. There's the Windows downloads for it. And if you back up, you can find all of them. The first one I raced online with was NASCAR Racing 1999 edition. These are the games that led to me being so big into sim racing and on iRacing to this day. Because these games actually led to the creation of iRacing because the code team at Papyrus started iRacing. So when they sold, Papyrus sold out years ago after NASCAR Racing 2003 was released. Papyrus sold out. Pappy sold out. And eventually it died and nobody ever done anything with it, and that's why this is considered abandonware now. The code for this, though, the actual code, was bought in bankruptcy by iRacing. So iRacing had the actual code to it, but they never took the licensing of the game back. So this one right here, if PC Steve was in here, I think he's the one that does this. This is NASCAR Racing 2003 season. This game has mods and is still used heavily today. So outside of iRacing, this is the other thing you got, which is NASCAR Racing 2003. I told PC Steve that I'm going to do it, and I am going to do it. but I have to find the perfect nostalgic setup. The direct drive wheels aren't going to play well with these old games, and that's what I use for steering wheels or direct drives. So I do still have a couple of old wheels over there. In fact, I'm going to dust the best one off, and that's what I'm going to do to set up my nostalgic sim racing rig. So that's going to happen. But on our 4th gen right here that I edit the videos on, why don't we play other games on it? You know, why don't we find other old games to play on it? Because we literally have a 4th gen i7, right? Even though we got overkill on the graphics for the old games on the 5700 XT, why not do it? So we'll back up some more. Somebody pick up an old game. Is EverQuest on here? Well, 2 E's, that's because this keyboard types like crap. No, I don't want that. Back an E off. My goodness. Etch-a-Sketch. Let's play that. Let's play Etch-a-Sketch. Age of the Empires. There you go. That's a good one. Final Fantasy. That's PlayStation, though. Everest, the ultimate strategy game. Microsoft Encarta. That should take you to a link, I would think. No, actually you can download that so it doesn't take you to a link. That's pretty cool. That means Microsoft abandoned it. After so long, they just didn't renew to keep the Age of Empires, The Rise of Rome, 1998. You have to get that on Steam. So I can't download this one. It would have to be done on Steam. I know Steam has a bunch of the old games too. So that's pretty neat to go in and look at all this stuff. It's called oldgamesdownload.com. There's probably other old sites too. I don't know what they are, but maybe I'll look some of them up as I get into this. This had all my NASCAR racing stuff on it. And it's got all my Rat Bag games on it because I don't know where my games are at here right now, but I got a whole bunch of CDs, but wouldn't it be faster just to put it on a USB 3 drive and install it on the machines that way, I would think, instead of using a CD drive or a DVD drive. And then I got to do the no patch to some of the games, and it turns into a whole thing. So questions and answers. My first question is, should I go down a road of restoring nostalgic PCs? What do you guys think about that? And what I mean by that is I mean buying a PC from 2011, going through completely restoring it, and bringing it back to its, not modernize it, bring it back to its former glory. And when I talk about old systems, I'm talking about components that were top of the line back in that day. So not anything that is mid-tier, because let's face it, in PC gaming, I've been in it a long time. You had low-end gaming, mid-tier, and high-tier, just like you have now. No difference back in the day than what it is now as far as that goes. The one I picked up today was on the high end of the spectrum, especially for 2011. And you guys will see that in the video. I was floored when the thing lit up. When I was recording it today, I was absolutely floored and happy, extremely happy at the same time. So if the old nostalgic stuff's going to do that, then I'm definitely going to head down that road a little bit. I know there's other sites that mess with the nostalgic stuff, but I'm going to do my videos a little differently. You won't see it change in the next 3 weeks probably, but the Tuesday night video formats are going to change a little bit because I'm going to include some gaming footage in some of these videos, especially on these retro PCs, because we need to be able to see what it did back in the day, what it was capable of, and then let's throw a random newer title at it and see how let's see how a high-powered system from 2011 Windows 98 OS. I can definitely make that happen. I still have the install for that, but you can download the Windows 98 OS off of probably Internet Archive if I had to guess. Let's check it out. If I do a Windows 98, it's got to be 2nd edition, right? So we'll put SE download. I'd say Internet Archive has it, though. There it is right there. Windows 98 2nd edition. So right on Internet Archive. There's a product key, too. Not only do you download it from there, but they'll give you a product key for it, too. And I'll bet you money if you put that product key in that it actually works. The 2011 case that I picked up today actually has a key code on it for Windows Vista, which I always thought until Windows 11 come out. Actually, Windows 8. So until Windows 8 come out, I thought Vista was the biggest abortion that Microsoft had done to date. But then they come out and did worse with Windows 8, right? It was so bad that they did Windows 8.1. How could we ever forget that? The first Windows I used was 3.1, I believe. Might have been the first one. And then the second one was Windows 95. But one of my all-time favorites is this one right here. Windows 98 2nd edition. But I do not rate it above Windows XP because Windows XP is my favorite operating system. By far. I choose the XP over all of them. I don't know if we do the Windows 98, if we can actually do... can we get something that'll work on it, like an updated internet browser or something? Is that possible? You guys tell me. Let me see if I can look that up over here. Well, let's misspell everything because that's what we do. What did I just ask? I already forgot what I was going to search. Oh. Because I have a browser that works on my Windows 7 and Windows XP. Maybe one of them will work on these. No modern browsers work on Windows 98 in 2025, but you could try old versions of browsers like Opera 9.64, Firefox 2.0, 0.020, or Internet Explorer 6. Any modern web browsers for Windows 95, 98. So there are modern era web browsers for 2000, for Windows 2000 XP and Vista, but not for Windows 98 system. However, I did heard about RetroZilla, but it hasn't been updated since February 13th of 2019. So, Firefox, I think the Firefox may have an ESR that'll work on it. We'll have to try that, actually. So maybe we will try. I'm seriously considering this right now. You mentioned Windows 98. Superminium, will it work on Windows 98, though? I use that on Windows XP, Glenn, but I don't know if it'll work on Windows 98. There's not a window in it. No, I don't want you to think that there was Windows 8 not being recognized or an issue with it. There were a lot of issues with Windows 8. One of the biggest ones was the whole interface compared to what traditional Windows users were used to was just a disaster. Windows 7, when you try to compare Windows 8 to Windows 7, it doesn't matter who you are looking at it. Windows 7 was better all the way around, period. It just was. Windows 7 was a nice complement to Windows XP, in my opinion. Windows Vista was kind of that stuff they put together and threw in between a great operating system and another great one. And then, of course, you get you get Windows 8 after 7, and then the 10, and you got a great one, a good one, and just a mediocre one in between. And that's what Windows 11 stuck in. It's in the mediocre cycle. I have a lot of problems on Windows 11, and I'm pretty sure that it's cost me a couple of solid state drives too. And depending on who you watch, one will say one thing and another will say another, but it does happen, right? We know that. I think Jay's 2 cents even admitted that it was burning up some solid state drives, and I know it got 2 of mine. So what a lot of people don't realize, though, is I can't tell you how many solid state drives that Windows 10 burn up of mine. It's been a lot of them. And I know it was Windows 10 that did it because it was updates that burn them up every time. So most people told me that it had more to do with the fact that I used cheap solid state drives. So I did. I'm not going to lie about that. I used cheap solid state drives. But I don't think that that's any indication. I don't think that it was a coincidence that updates actually burnt those drives up. We're going to download this because I will try Super Medium on it. I use it on Windows XP and it works. We don't need an ISO. Yeah, we'll do the ISO. What the heck? You guys see how quick I downloaded off here too. It won't take us very long to download it. We're not going to put it on this computer, though. I don't think it should run on a 4th gen. But we can definitely put it on our... I got an old Athlon ×2. We'll do it on that one. I don't even think it'll work on an SSD, but we'll check it and see. There's some things I'll have to check on this one. I haven't messed with Windows 98 in years. Let's see what it says. Yeah, you'd have to do a workaround just to put it on a solid state drive. So we're going to have to use one of our antique drives on it. But we're still going to do it. All right, anything else there? Let's see what you think on the builds. Do you like the idea of the nostalgic stuff? And if so, should we include some nostalgic gaming in it? Should we take some of the nostalgic hardware and see what it'll do in 2025? I don't know. Put it in the chat. I didn't get a chance to put the stream up early tonight, so that's because I've just been busy. I didn't even have anything laid out really besides that graphics card to test on, so I just didn't have nothing lined up for tonight. I do apologize for that. I had completely hit just a complete mental block, honestly. I've been editing the videos for Tuesday night, and I've been trying to finish up some of them, and I realized that even that A540 case, that video took me 3 weeks, just so you guys know. It's taken me over a month to do the ITX build. And I have no computers for sale right now, none. So I have to get the budget build done so we can get it up for sale, and I can get the video on that one. So that's coming, but I think where the videos are going to change is when I introduce you to today's marketplace find. And we're going to see if the videos pick up traction from that. I think they will, because going back and looking at some of my most viewed videos on the channel, it kind of revolved around the same thing that I'm thinking on this one. And I don't know what it is about the old hardware, but it gets love. I can tell you that the CPU in the machine I picked up today still sells for almost $100 on eBay right now. So that'll tell you something. It's definitely... We bought a big-ass case, and inside of that case is classic gold, and I am not kidding you. I couldn't, when it lit up, I can't even tell you the smile on my face and how big it was. It's the best under $100 that I spent on a computer probably ever. Probably ever. But then again, I bought those two at the yard sale, which wind up being really nice to me and actually paid pretty good too. So it was good extra money. So furthermore, you guys are going to think I'm really out of my mind when I tell you this. I'm going to sell my racing rig computer. I'm going to sell my 12th gen Intel. And I'm going to trade it out, and I'm going to use the Alienware. But hear me out on this one. I'm going to use the Alienware that I put in the FSP case. You can't make this stuff up. Well, you guys could tell me if I'm nuts or if you want to see it happen. But I am thinking about getting rid of that one and temporarily using my Alienware with the RTX 2080 in it until I build a new rig for my racing rig. How's that sound? I've been kind of wanting to do a newer Ryzen build. So when I say newer Ryzen build, I mean the later generation, what is it? What generation is it? The 6th generation, maybe 5th gen? I don't know. What's the AM5? I've been thinking about doing an AM5 Ryzen setup. So, well, we lost our signal. I think our machine went to sleep over there, which is fine. I'm not going to fire that thing back up or mess with it. 5th. Yep, I figured it out, Chris. I had to run through my head a little bit and say, what generation was that? And it's 5th. But it's AM5, so that's the better way to put it. And I believe that that's what I'm going to do. And I need a graphics card update on that anyway. I'm still running the 6700 XT. I got the 6700 XT, which isn't a bad card today. But I think it's time for an upgrade. I've been using that one for a couple of years. And 9000 series, that's it. AM5 is 9000 series. That's absolutely correct. So that's exactly the way that I think I'm going to go. I think my motherboard would take a 14th gen Intel, but I don't know. I'm not sold on them. Intel's definitely lost their market share, right? AMD's definitely been putting a hurting on them. Not that it doesn't work good, because it does. I'd be lying. My iRacing on my Oculus has been great lately. Even since the new update, the frame rates are still really good on it. And I don't have any problems with it. But as far as that goes, my Alienware board in the FSP case, the 8700 with RTX 2080 can run iRacing on VR just fine. I've done it. I mean, I know that it can. Will my 2011 Nostalgic find today, will it run iRacing? We'll see. It might do it on the triple screen, but it's not going to do it on VR. I don't think that the VR I don't even think it would light up with a. Let's say that we had what was that graphics card we tested tonight? GTX 550 Ti. Do you think we could light up a VR with that? Probably not, right? It's just been a long week, guys. It has. Just so you know, the last Tuesday videos that I got up, this past Tuesday's video and next Tuesday's video, it's already uploaded. Next Tuesday's is uploaded. This one was uploaded a week ago. So I don't have to mess with the Tuesday night stuff, and I've just been busy on other stuff. I really have, and I had to renew my tags today. Rest in peace to my wallet. But that's a whole different story we'll talk about later sometime. But the tags are renewed. That's the good news about that. I should have just did it by mail, but I like to go in and see the girls at the DMV on my birthday every year. I'm an idiot. I wait till the last possible minute every time to renew my tags. The last possible minute. Thankfully, I went a few days early this year because my birthday's on the weekend and the DMV's not open. And I knew that if I sent it by mail or did it online, that I wouldn't get my tags in by the time they got here. I love the Thor case. Great case right there. Length of the 24-pin wiring. I don't have any idea what PSU got. Buy an extension cable. You can buy an extension cable for your 24-pin wiring. Actually, just buy the extenders. Make it look better anyway, overall. You can extend your 8-pin, your PCI Expresses, and put all the colored cables in there. All those are is extensions, so... I do love the Thor case, though. Wait till you see what I picked up today. You're a fan of the Thor case and them old big cases. You just wait. This thing is a monster, literally. It's the biggest freaking case that I've got. In fact, I hurt my back carrying it. It's bigger than my Cooler Master case sitting next to me. That's how big it is. That thing is huge, man. I mean, huge. But that's how they were back in the day, if you guys remember. The bigger the case, the better your build was, right? The case made the whole build. No, it didn't. But I'll be damned if people wouldn't buy the biggest, best case they could get a hold of. And man, people would buy them and Thermaltake and Cooler Master would make them. Would they not? Those companies have been doing it for a long time. I don't know why I do it to myself either. I really don't. I don't know why I go after those huge, heavy cases, but I'm a huge fan of them. I always have been. Even when I was a younger man into gaming, I was a big fan of them. And I've had some pretty big ones. And, you know, I've got bigger cases here now. My Cooler Master is it a H500 maybe? What a great case this thing is. 4 USB 3.0s on it. I mean, you just can't beat the damn thing. Glass panel on back and front. I actually did good cable management on that. But to be able to rock a 4th gen, come on, in 2025, Intel 4790K, this thing will still get it done. And I'm not kidding you. Well, you see, I stream on it, right? Run the capture card over to it and run the whole stream on it. So that's not too bad for old hardware. But if you were close by, I'd trade you out of that Thor case. There's actually one on Marketplace. Let me see if I can find it. $350 case. You see my point there, Chris? That's all I'm getting at. I mean, it's insane. My regular case that I game with, that I use on my iRacing rig. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. So my regular case that whoa, what do we got here? Oh, I think why do people sticker these damn cases up? That one I got today is all stickered up. Let me look for PC cases real quick on my Marketplace. And we'll see if that Thor case is still on there. And maybe a guy will pick one of them up because I used to really like that case and I just haven't thought about it lately. Because, you know, you get all them aquarium cases now and this case and that case. But I was looking at this one too. This is like the little brother to my Cooler Master case right here. You can see that real good. You can probably see it. That's like the little brother to my Cooler Master case. And it's kind of cool, right? It's got the 2 glass side panels on it. There's the back of it. This is definitely not a full tower, though. It is a mid tower, so that's the little brother to mine. Right there. But I don't know. I think it'd be a cool one to pick up and do a build on. Maybe the 4th gen Ryzen I got sitting in the motherboard I got behind me. So I have thought about doing that. good cable management in there. If it had a power supply, I might definitely jump out of that $70, but $70 is a lot of money on a case. After Chris just told me he paid $350 for his, I'm sitting here saying $70. That's because when I build that stuff like that, those Ryzens, it's the resell. And I can't put more money in it than I can get out of it, right? That wouldn't be, I wouldn't be doing this long if I did that. It would be short-lived. I'm down on PC funds right now. I have to do some flips here. That's what makes this stuff happen and brings this stuff in the door. And every time I run out on a marketplace find, excuse me, I'm tired. But every time I run out on a marketplace find, if I jump on these old rigs, that's not to reflip those things, guys. I keep them. And then I try to figure out a purpose for them, and then they wind up sitting like this one, this one, and this one. So maybe I need to come up off some of my nostalgic stuff. I don't know. Maybe I do. It'd make more room in here, and I'd probably be much happier, and the channel would probably go much better if I did all that. But is it possible for a guy to be able to give that stuff up, honestly? I mean, you talk about my 1366, you're likely going to pry that from my cold, dead hand. Let me cancel that real quick. Fortune board. They said it's coming tomorrow. What CPU for the Fortune board? 4770, 4790? Is it for a flip or for something you're keeping? I have a Fortune board here, but it doesn't shut down properly. You've seen it. We've worked on it on the live stream. Yeah, the Titan was really, really expensive. i7 4770 for a flip. Gotcha. You can still flip the 4th-gen stuff. I do it. I put it in budget rigs, and that's exactly what I'm going to do on the next budget build. And it's going to have a 4770 in it with a GTX 1660, which is still a pretty solid budget build today. $1,400 PNY NVIDIA Quadro. That's why the Quadro cards. Workstation cards, expensive. NVIDIA did it too with the, what they call theirs, the Fire Pro. Does that sound right? I might actually have some of the old Quadros and Fire Pros around here. I literally would get those things in. I'd get the workstations in with those cards in them and just take them out and set them to the side and put a different gaming card in them, right? That's the other thing I've been thinking about scooping up on is some old workstations, you know. Fireproof, huh? They didn't call it fireproof. They called them Fire Pro. I don't think it was fireproof. I thought it was AMD Fire Pro. Yeah, Fire Pro. I don't know which one I have, but I have one of those over there. It come out of one of the HP workstations, if I'm not mistaken. Did I literally just shut my live stream down? The live stream should still be going, but I just jumped. I don't know what I'm doing. I literally closed out my whole stream. There we go. I think that should pull it back up. I clicked the X button on it. Spelling error, I got you. Yeah, I don't think anything AMD made was fireproof. In fact, I had one of AMD's old AM3s try to literally burn my house to the ground. But I got proof of that one too. you guys have any ideas? I mean, any changes that you'd want to see on the regular videos? Thursday night live streams you don't have to worry about because it's about to cool off, and I'm going to run the Cat 6 cable out to the shop. So we are going to get out there in the Thursday night Thursday night live stream videos. We're going to be cutting shit up, welding stuff together, painting, and we're going to be customizing cases. We may just build our own computer case from scratch. I don't know yet. But we're going to be doing stuff in the shop. You know, we can go out there when it's a little bit cooler, drink some beer, and have some fun, right? And that's probably what's coming really soon. Hopefully, we get some cold fronts through here and bring the temperature down. It still feels like summer out there now, but I'm sure it's that way in your guys' part of the country too. But I'm going to run the Cat 6 cable because I got some other work I need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and run the Cat 6 cable out to the shop. Put another switch in, put a router out there, and we'll be good to live stream from the shop. Which will be great. That'll be really good. And I'm going to set a streaming rig up out there. So we got a rig to stream off of with our camera here. And we can run it right through the OBS studio, kind of like we do right here. HP workstations use them. You're exactly right. Dell used NVIDIA usually. That is correct, EQ. It was a HP workstation that I took it out of. I'm wanting to say it was a 840. The Z840 workstation. It was a dual CPU one. I've had a couple of those. I've sold them, but I've had a couple of them. So those, I'm no stranger to those things. That's a fact. But I never even thought about gaming with those workstation cards. And then I've seen YouTube videos where people were using Quadros for gaming. And I'm like, really? Those things do that? I never even know. I guess somebody would be smart aleck enough to say, I was never Quadro poor. That's probably the best way to put that. I was never Quadro poor, so that's why I probably never used one of them. I was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know, on this one that I bought today, I'm like, why didn't I ever do a build like that in 2011? And I thought, well, that's because all my boys were at home and they were all gaming. And by the time I got done building their gaming computers, there wasn't enough left over to build a good system. So I ran bottom of the barrel budget stuff. That's what got me where I'm at today. It did. When you build 3 systems for 3 boys, and basically when I upgraded their stuff, I used their used parts on mine, not the other way around. I was the dad that would give his kids the best stuff without giving it to myself. Yeah, I just seen them using those. Gosh, guys, oh sorry, I'm just tired. I'm gonna have to end the stream pretty quickly. It's 10 o'clock. I'm tired and ready for. I'm ready to give it up for the night. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I still gotta take the dog out too. But I have seen the guys use the Quadros for gaming, especially since the great COVID virus of 2020. There we go. That's where I seen the Quadro come to life. When everybody was stuck at home and they bought computers and it drove the cost of everything through the gosh darn roof. I gotcha. So the M4000 is about the same as the Titan card. That makes sense. What is my Titan card? 6 gig, I think. They make a 12 gig Titan card too. It's much more expensive though, if I'm not mistaken. That must have been the one that come out later. Man, I'm tired. Is that called a Titan XP? A Titan... Which Titan is that? No, that's actually a Star Wars Empire Collector Edition. Huh. That one's pretty cool too. Maybe I should have got one of those. A Star Wars card. Yeah, they do have the 12 gig Titan. I imagine that'd still be a pretty relevant card today, being a 12 gig card, right? You tell me. I don't know. Other than the one I have, I never had a Titan before, so I didn't really know much about that. I do appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with me. I wish I had a little bit more lined up, but I'll think that through more next Thursday night. I'll catch up on some of this other stuff and I'll think it through a little bit. It could very well be the last Titan before the Volta. I'm not real sure. I haven't had a lot of those, and I never paid attention to the Quadro cards either back in the day. But the GTX cards I used, the gaming cards, I used all those. So I think that's probably going to do it for the live stream tonight. I'm tired. It's almost 10 Eastern here, and I got to take the dog out. I get the little dog out, let him do his business, and I'm going to call it a night, fellers, ladies and fellers, and gentlemen and stuff. I'm going to call it a night. Next Thursday night, I'll be revitalized with more energy. I'm just tired today. I'm not going to lie. You are welcome. Thank you. I thank each and every one of you for coming into these live streams. It's always awesome to come in and do these things and read the chat. Typically, I got stuff over there testing. Just lately, I've been other stuff on my mind. But I think I got a clear direction. I think this morning I broke through the ceiling and I got a clear direction where I'm headed. So as long as I got a clear direction, things are going to get better on the channel, I think. But thank you for tuning in to another SimStation live stream. Make sure you tune in on Thursdays. I'll try to get them kicked off by 8 p.m. Eastern. I was a little bit late tonight, so I do apologize for the tardiness. But next Thursday, I'll try to get right back on the 8 p.m. schedule. But it just depends on what I got going on and how busy I am. But we'll try that next week. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you tune in to the 6 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday night video drops. And then on Thursday night, I'll see you at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But that's going to do it for the SimStation stream tonight. Have a great night and a safe weekend.